Hi everyone, welcome to the latest volume of Drawn and Cornered. To celebrate this new season, we've partnered with Aftershock Comics to create a special limited edition variant cover for Undone by Blood or The Other Side of Eden #1 by legendary artist Francisco Francavilla. Check it out. There's only 500 of these covers and you can't buy it. That's right, but you can get it for free and all you have to do is subscribe to this channel and we'll be randomly sending them out to fans just like you. Hi everyone, for Filthy Law Entertainment, welcome to Drawn and Cornered. It's the show that corners today's best comic book artists as they draw incredible art while answering fun deep dive questions. After the show, you can bid on the art and all the proceeds will go to our guest's charity of choice. Make sure you watch through to the end to see the final product. Over the past 2 years, if you've seen a drawing of an ice cream man wearing a creepy grin, then you've seen the artwork of Marti Morazzo. While Marti is best known for his work on the property that birthed this new horror icon, Ice Cream Man from Image Comics, his other credits include the eco-thriller Great Pacific with Joe Harris, the critical darling She Could Fly from Berger Books, and another collaboration with Ice Cream Man co-creator W. Maxwell Prince in the Electric Sublime from IDW. Having one of the most unique, clean, and instantly recognizable styles in contemporary comics, we are thrilled to have him in the drawing chair today. Marti, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us what it is that you're going to be drawing and what charity this is going to benefit?
I'm going to do a drawing of the Ice Cream Man, taking a selfie with Caleb, his antagonist corpse by his side.
Excellent.
And I want to donate the earnings to Bing. It's a Comic Book United to help struggling comic book shops through this pandemic.
Oh, amazing. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out at the end. Now, your first major publication, as we spoke before, was Great Pacific with Joe Harris. But before we talk about that, you drew two titles, which I'm sure not many people know of, The Network and Absolute Magnitude. Can you tell us about those books and how you became a part of those projects?
The Network was a really weird project because it was with a writer called Jay Busby. I think he writes mostly sports now. He's a sports reporter. And he had a book with Arcana Press, I think it's called. It's a Canadian publisher, or it used to be. I'm not sure if it still exists. He used to publish a book called Sundown, Arizona, and he ran like a contest, a pinup contest, to be published in the back cover of the book. So he was like searching for a new artist to work with. And I did a pinup with a cowboy with a how you call it, a torch, and it was like many vampires on the back. And I won, and he proposed to do a new book, which the idea was the network was a network covering superhero stuff. And yeah, it was great. We started working. It was going to be like 3 or 4 books, I cannot remember, of 22 pages, so 3 or 4 floppies. I'm not sure what happened. Like, they never gave us a definitive green light, so we were working kind of not knowing what was going to happen. And then I finished the pages. I finished the whole book. It was like 66 pages, I think. And we never heard about it for a long time. And then Jay wrote to me and said, it is going to be published as a graphic novel. I was really happy about that. But yeah, it didn't went great because I was really disconnected with it by the time it published. So it's not a book I'm fond of mentioning.
Right, sure, yeah.
I don't like the style I did, or I don't recognize myself in those pages now.
I see, right.
Then Absolute Magnitude was the title which with the one we won Sura Comics competition.
Mm-hmm.
It was in landscape format because it was a web comic, and it was great. It was pirates in space, and I had a great time color it. It was a lot of time, but I did have a great time. And through that book, Joe Harris found me, and I started working for Image. So I'm forever thankful with it. But we were supposed to do 60 pages, and Sura was shut down around page 29. So yeah, I have like 29 pages, and it doesn't end. I think the writer wanted to continue it with another artist later, but I'm not sure what happened with it. So yeah, I lost track there.
Now, I mean, you mentioned before that you don't really look back fondly on the network. Is that the case for all of your early stuff?
No,
because
with that one, it was like a strange feeling, because I did put a lot of work in those pages. I was still working on my style, so it's, if you see Absolute Magnitude, you can see my work and probably recognize my work.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think in the network you can feel that way. And I had some troubles with the manager, let's say, of Arcana. So, well, not some trouble, but we didn't have a great relation. It was really brief because he always talked with the writer. But like one time I asked if the network sold copies, just because I was curious if people were getting in touch with it, and he kind of gets annoyed, saying he invested a lot of money in that book, and I was asking for money before
Mm-hmm.
he could even recover from that expense. And I said, I'm not asking for money. I'm just curious if, I don't know, like 100 people got it, or maybe 1,000. I wasn't sure, but yeah. So it didn't went well for me. So no, it's not something that makes me proud, which happens with it happens with Absolute Magnitude. I take a look at those pages and find flaws and all in the style and in the drawings and everything, but I remember it like it's a happy memory.
So my question now is, so you mentioned that if you look at your artwork in the network, it doesn't really resemble what you're currently doing now, or your style now. How did that style evolve and change into what it is now?
I think I really developed it with Great Pacific. With all that run with Great Pacific, it was 18 issues, and I was working regularly, every month. By that time, I still had a day job, which was I was a graphic designer. I had a studio with a friend, and so I used to work the whole day doing graphic design, and then I draw at night and on the weekends. So there I kind of draw a lot regularly and fast, and I had to do it fast too, because if I didn't do it fast, there was no chance I could meet the deadlines we had with Great Pacific. And I lost some, not a lot, but I lost some, I remember. But I think to develop a style and all, you have to be constantly working. And probably I'm also developing a new style now, or going through other way now. So if you see, it's like, if you see all of the books I did in the last 5 years, you probably won't recognize that change. But if you see one book I did now and one I did 5 years ago, you can see probably changes. It's like when you don't see a person for a long time and you see them really change, but if you see them every day, you don't notice. So yeah, probably something like that happened. I'm not sure.
Let's talk about the Great Pacific a little bit. It was your first major book with Image, and knowing their reputation, and with someone like Joe. I know you mentioned that Joe saw your earlier work, and that's how he contacted you to work on Great Pacific. Can you talk about that relationship and how? I mean, I love the book, and I think that the synergy between the writing and the images are beautifully put together. So can you talk a little bit? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, can you talk about your process with Joe and how well that went?
Well, I received it was great because he wrote me one day saying he saw my work in absolute magnitude, and he wanted to do a book with me, and his idea was to show it to Eric Stephenson at Image. So he asked where I was from, and I said I was from Argentina. He said, "Oh, I did some work with an Argentinian artist that never got published, and it was an Old Man Logan book with Enrique Breccia. Not sure if you know him. He used to do something, and and he showed me the drawings, and I said, okay, this guy was working with Enrique Breccia, who is a big name here, and I said, okay, this is the right partner, like, and so we did some illustrations, some character designs, and he did like a pitch document, which was, I think, very long because he had many technical things about the Pacific Garbage Patch and all, and we used my illustrations there, and he showed it to Eric, I think in San Diego Comic Con, I'm not sure, and yeah, he felt really great about it and said we were going to publish. So we started working on the first 3 issues. I did the colors of the first one and realized it will take me forever to do art and colors. So we started working with Tisa Studio, some guys from Buenos Aires. And it went great. And with Joe, we worked together like, I don't know, like we started working together in 2010. So probably we worked together like 7 years. We did Snowfall after Great Pacific, another Image Comics title. And then we were talking about the project last year, and I was really full, and I couldn't commit to it. So we kind of we left it floating there. So maybe we can go back to it at some point. I'm not sure. But the work was great. He was really happy with it. Well, we had Shona Gore, who's also a friend, and she was an editor at Dark Horse Comics for many years, and she was editing the book. So there was the 3 of us talking about each issue and all, and yeah, I had a really great time with it. It was so strange because I'm not sure I could say I felt like, yeah, I make it there, but I was publishing a book in Image, first issue sold many copies. I could not believe it was happening by that time. But yes, it's a really loved book for me. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's excellent. Now, Great Pacific obviously deals with some pretty heavy environmental themes. Is this something that you look for in your work, social and political messages, or was that more of Joe's thing and you were kind of happy to be part of it?
It was kind of more like a show thing, and I was happy to be a part of it. I love doing that kind of things. I enjoy it, but it's living here is something I sometimes feel a bit outside of it. Like we did Quarantine Comics this year with Ice Cream Man, and we helped Bing, the charity I'm going to donate with this, and it felt awesome to do it, but it's not something that I kind of like perceive myself. It's I in that way I feel a bit far away from there. It's
sure.
Well, I'm aware of the politics and things happening mostly in the US because I see the news, let's say, but also I have my contacts in Twitter or in social networks in general are mainly in the US, so I see a lot of political stuff and things and debates and not too much these days because I think there was like a lot of blocking these days, but well, I see only one side, let's say. But
Yeah. Now, another book of yours, which unfortunately didn't hit the spotlight as hard as it should have, is the Electric Sublime, which you mentioned previously. Now, this was your first collaboration with W. Maxwell Prince over at IDW. Now, it's a really stunning and weird book. So, how was it to go from something with Joe, who writes a lot more, in your face, to something a little bit more esoteric, like the Electric Sublime?
well, it was strange because Will contacted me because of the Great Pacific, saying he wanted to do a book about like John Constantine of art, and me being a fan of fine arts, I was like, oh, this is awesome. How come nobody thought about this before? Or at least I didn't know somebody probably did something about it. But it was a great idea. And I started working with Will. We did a pitch, and it was awesome. It felt really good to me because it was a bit cathartic too, because I had experienced some family mental health issues too by that time, some tragic stuff, and it was a bit relieving too to be working in something like that. And well, I what can I say? I like the challenges it brought, because, like Will said, okay, now we have a scene that it's inside Guernica, the Pablo Picasso mural. So everything's going to be cubism here. Oh, okay. So yeah, it was, but I kind of enjoy that kind of stuff, the challenge of doing that. Well, it shows, I guess, in the Ice Cream Man when we play with the medium and all. But it was, to me, it was so awesome. I still read it from time to time, and I say kind of, whoa, I love this book, and I'm sad we couldn't do more of it, but I'm not sure I should say, but probably we will have some news in the future about it.
Oh, that would be amazing. I love the book. I hope it does come back.
Oh, thank you.
Now, do you like drawing one kind of story more than the other? Because when you look at your work, it's just so varied.
Well, that happened mostly probably because of the Ice Cream Man, right? Where we're doing this anthology, and each issue is different, and it's really refreshing. Let's say what I have drawn more in Ice Cream Man is mostly the suburbs and regular people. But we have like the space issue, we have the TV issue, we have I don't know, like the issue before that one, which was in Mexico, and the first of the beginning of the 20th century, and it's so varied that I don't ever get tired, and it's awesome. This issue, the issue that comes in a couple of weeks, it's a light Watchmen homage, because we're not doing any superhero stuff, but it's a detective story in 9-panel grid. So cool. Also the colors are like somehow a homage to the Watchmen comic book, so they won't be like regular colors. So that is really fun, like well, in issue 20, in which I did a story like Dr. Seuss, and the other stories, I cannot remember, The Giving Tree, and cannot remember how the first one was called. But that kind of things kind of keeps me fresh, I think. It's I could never get bored about the Ice Cream Man, Well, I had to do an issue that you can read forward and backwards, so
yeah, absolutely.
That was particularly a challenge.
Now, you've worked with Joe and with W. Maxwell on numerous collaborations. Now, some artists like to work with new writers all of the time, and others tend to find a handful that they work with them on multiple projects. I guess the ultimate version of this would be like Brubaker and Phillips's collaboration. Now, you
Yes.
seem to fall into the latter category. Is it because that you work well with these guys?
Yes. I like I said before, I all of them, all of the works I did with them were great experiences. So why not keep working together? You know? Yeah, anytime I can. Well, with Will, we did the Electric Sublime, and we said, okay, there's not going to be any more Electric Sublime. So what are we gonna do next? And he said, I had a story. It's like a Twilight Zone with an ice cream man. And I remember telling my wife, this guy is crazy. I'm going to do 4 issues and get rid of it. And luckily, I was absolutely wrong. And with Joe, we did have a great experience with Great Pacific, with Snowfall. And but then I was busy and he was busy with something else, and we couldn't find any any time to work together again. But yeah, I could do another book with Christopher Cantwell too, the writer of She Could Fly, because we had a great experience too, you know.
Do you find that each book that you do with these same collaborators just gets better and better?
Yes, probably, because you start to understand each other better. Let's say the first issue of the Electric Sublime will explain many things to me, and I think we started working great and with less explanations sooner than later. But each time we kind of take it to a next step. Like Will says, okay, we're gonna do an issue in which the ice cream man reads a couple of some children books, some classics, but they're going to be absolutely different, and he doesn't have to mention much more. And I receive the script and I do it, and he's happy, and everything goes so smooth right now that yeah, I think with time, or for example with Chris Cantwell, the all the setup previous to start working on pages for She Could Fly was a bit back and forth, because he had a real clear idea of what he wanted in terms of the characters, the character looks, and probably settings and things. And by the beginning, we kind of went back, made many revisions and all. And then when we started working, like by issue 7, let's say by the second series, we were working really great. I sent layouts, and there were no revisions, probably no notes. And I said,
oh wow,
okay, did I see them? Because but yeah, it was awesome, really. Yeah. So I think readers can enjoy more if you collaborate with somebody for a long time, because I think you can get the best of everybody in the team. The same applies to Chris O'Halloran, who is coloring. To me, it's coloring at least my work absolutely great. And what I see he does at Marvel, for example, it's also great. He's getting really good at it. Yeah. So in Ice Cream Man, we don't have to talk a lot before each issue, all of us, but we're doing what everybody's doing, what the others expect to do, and probably better even. Yeah.
Now, She Could Fly was a sleeper hit, and it was published by Berger Books. Now, first of all, what was it like to work with a legend like Karen Berger?
Oh, it was awesome. When I received the email, I saw Karen Berger and said available for work, and I could not even open it. I was like, I waited for like 2 hours to open it, because I wanted to be prepared. Yeah. Well, I as I mentioned before, I read many Vertigo books, and I know she's a legend. So it was kind of like a test, to me. And yeah, I think we were great together. So I'm absolutely happy with it and honored too, because she's so great. She's very kind, and she really knows about this. So when she sends a note or anything, it's like, okay, I'm gonna listen to Karen, because she's, well, I listen to everybody who sends notes, but she's like, I respect her so much, and to me it was a wonderful experience.
Did you feel intimidated at all?
Probably at the beginning, yeah, because she's Karen Berger,
Yeah.
My favorite book is Saga of the Swamp Thing. So I was working with the editor of that book. So yeah, my legs were shaking a little bit. Yeah, but we work really great together. She always said great stuff, and even if I send maybe a cover sketch and she didn't like it at all, she's so kind. She said, okay, I'm sorry, but this doesn't work for me. But you did so great with the last cover. So she always says something nice, like it was an awesome experience for me. She Could Fly.
Yeah, absolutely. The book is excellent. It looks great. It has an amazing team, and I see this happening too often, where stellar books are not getting the recognition that they deserve. Now, what do you think contributes to this? Is it a matter of sort of being ahead of its time, or just not in line with the market's current tastes?
I'm not sure. Probably it was it's probably a difficult book to sell with one sentence, for example, like I don't know, like if I had to tell you what Ice Cream Man is about, is like a Twilight Zone with an ice cream man who connects all the stories, but each story is one chapter. With She Could Fly, it's more difficult, but I'm not sure what happened really. Sometimes we talk with Karen about it, and we are bummed it didn't go as we expected, but also we are proud of it. We loved what we did. So I don't know, maybe time can mend that. It was maybe there is something happening with it soon, so we have to wait and see. So maybe it finally gets the recognition it deserves. I think it's an awesome book. I like the rhythm it has. It doesn't stop anywhere. It's always like it's going full speed all the time, like switching places and characters, and you only take a deep breath between many pages and then keep going. And it's an awesome book. I love the characters and everything that happens. There are mostly the secondary characters are so good. there are some that are really pathetic, and I was really happy to draw. Yeah. And but I hope something more happens with it. So we'll see. I don't know. Chris Cantwell is working really much now, so he's making a big name for himself. So maybe in the future, I'm not sure.
Now, going back to Ice Cream Man. Now, Ice Cream Man is a fascinating image book. It has a very dedicated fan base. It's critically acclaimed, and it's currently one of the longest running titles right now with over 20 issues. But it's not a saga level hit. It's sort of in this weird middle ground. But also, as the audience continues to grow, now this would have been pretty normal 30 years ago, but it's rare for books to be given time to find an audience. Can you talk about why you think that might have worked with Ice Cream Man?
I'm not sure. We're a bit surprised now because yeah, until we started pretty decent. The four first issues sold barely the same. It was a bit weird because, in my experience, issues sold well in the first one. The second one sold a little bit less, and then the third less, and the fourth less, and you started like decreasing sales. And with Ice Cream Man, the four first issues sold barely the same, and then yes, we started going down, but just in little bits. And I'm not sure what happened with like we were down like four issues, and then one issue went up a little bit, and then like never leveling, but never going too harsh down. And by issue 20, we had this Dr. Seuss variant cover, and kind of it kind of did sell really well, and it sold out in the day of release with our issue 20. And then we had two more printings, so we were kind of surprised, gladly surprised, let's say, with it. And then I heard about sales for issue 21, and yeah, they're kind of almost triple what we were selling with issue 19. So
that's awesome.
We're not sure what's happening, but we're happy with it. Probably it was the quarantine comics. I'm not sure.
Right.
Probably during the pandemic.
For sure.
Yeah, during that month that Diamond was closed, we were publishing digitally that quarantine comics. So it was probably what happened was that, but I'm not sure. But it's great.
When you began working on it, did you think that it would have this kind of momentum?
No, I didn't expect it to go this way. I think I felt that kind of what Ice Cream Man was turning to be in last year's New York Comic Con, because I attended 4 years. In the last 5 years, I went four times to New York Comic Con. And I was mostly relaxed there. Not many people came to my table and asked me for signed books or anything. But last year it was really crazy. Many commissions happening now, because I was there in 2018 when the TV show Option was announced. And yeah, many people was there and saying congrats for it and all. But last year it was crazy. And I said, okay, I think something is happening with Ice Cream Man, but also with She Could Fly by that time. But I think it went a little bit crazy then. And right now is, I didn't dream of this, you know, it's a little bit out of hand. We were selling great with trades. We already had a third printing of our first trade, and we sold, I don't know, like around 20,000 already. So
yeah,
I
see that as
kind of weird.
I see that as
but
I mean, I see that as a continuing trend. I mean, the trade market is increasing quite a lot. At least in my opinion, I know a number of comic book shops that have drastically reduced ordering floppies in exchange for just waiting for the trade and just ordering, you know, a lot more in that format.
The last thing we heard of was retailer variants. We offered Ice Cream Man as a book that can do retailer variants, and we did 3 our issue 20 first. 2 made by me and Chris O'Halloran. One made by Megan Hutchinson, which she did like a Dr. Manhattan Ice Cream Man, and it sold out already. So not sure what's happening with retailer exclusives, but I think it's a way for retailers to secure an amount, secure selling an amount of books, and I think it works great for them. So it's awesome. And we did 3 with issue 20 first, and we have 6 for issue 22nd, none made by me. So we will see other artists take on the Ice Cream Man, and well, we already have with our variant covers, but it would be awesome. To me, it's really fun because we get to see them before they are made and all. So it's we're involved in the production process, but not doing anything. So it's fun.
Now, Ice Cream Man is one of the very few books out there that's episodic in nature. Firstly, do you think that that's part of why it's grown so well? That sort of the idea that a reader can jump on at any point?
Yes, probably. Even though we have many calls to itself, let's say many characters reappearing, or many like inside jokes or Easter eggs. I think anyone can jump in at any issue, and I think issue 20 was particularly great for that because the stories we tell there are pretty popular there in the US. So many people said, "Oh no, you don't have to mess with the Giving Tree because it was the book my mom read to me when young," or things like that. And I think that issue worked great in that way. And probably we have many fans jumping in there and then going back the whole run, like trying to find issue 1. And I've seen many times our regular fans on Twitter saying, when somebody new said, "Okay, I'm going to collect this," and many of them saying, "Good luck with issue 1 because you won't find any." So
yeah, that's right.
Yes, I think that works in that way. And also, if you have an issue that somebody doesn't like entirely, they would say, "I don't like this issue a lot, but let's see what the next one is about." And that thing, if you have a regular story that and ongoing, probably a person that feels that way won't buy the next one, not even the other one. So probably the anthology thing works awesome in that way. It's the next issue will be different with new characters, so anybody can jump in and anybody can return.
Well, yeah. Do you find it challenging, or is it freeing to work on an episodic book, considering that you have to design new characters and settings all the time?
It's challenging in a way, but in a fun way. Like it's not, "Oh, I have to do new characters." It's, let's do some new characters, and it's easier. It only becomes hard in, like, I don't know, like in issue 12, like the space story, because you have to. I had to design the spaceship, which I had designed for the cover to make it look like an ice cream cone, and then design characters and suits and all. But it's not like it's not like designing. I don't know, like Darth Vader. I won't be 3 months designing it. It's like making 3 drawings and then let's go, because we have to do the book. It's so fast in that way. So we don't have too much time to do previous stuff. So we kind of get going faster than reviewing everything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. The book itself is being developed as a series over at Quibi. Now, unfortunately, Quibi shut down recently. So is there anything that you can tell us about the state of the adaptation, given that news?
Yes, I cannot say too much because I don't know too much either. But from what I heard, the rights were optioned by Universal Cable Productions, and then they made an arrangement with Quibi. So Quibi shutting down, the rights go back to Universal. So they have to place it somewhere else. So I know they are working on it. So not sure. I hope we can announce something soon, because I think it would be a great TV show.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it would be pretty awesome.
I hope it gets made. So
Now you've also done some work at Marvel, but you found far more success in creator-owned work, which makes sense given your style. Now, was it a goal for you to work at Marvel? You mentioned that you were a fan of Marvel and superhero comics when you were a kid, and as someone that's drawn more creator-owned side of work, like how was that? How did that feel, basically, to get involved with one of the biggest publishers in the world?
It felt great. Yeah, I was exchanging mails with Ricky Porting. By that time, it was like 2016, I think. And I did some samples. He didn't get back. Then I was going through a hard time in my life, and I did some samples, and I wasn't completely comfortable with. Mm-hmm. So we kind of lost track. And then I wrote back to him and said, okay, I was going through a shitty time, and I'm not fond of the samples I sent you. Do you have a script or something? I can send you some new samples. And I sent some pencils with about New Avengers. And he never got back to me like for a month. And then I received an email from him saying, hey, I may have found something for you. And then like 5 minutes after, I received an email by Katie Kubert saying possible work. And I was alone at my place, and I was like screaming. Yeah, well, it was, as I told you, yeah, when I was very young and all, I read exclusively Marvel comics. So it was, yeah, like a dream come true. Then I guess it didn't work as planned, because that was for Nighthawk. It was a mini series by David Walker and Ramon Villalobos, and not sure what Ramon had some trouble. I never knew what was happening with him, but he wasn't able of doing the 5 issues. The book was supposed to have the 6 issues, so I did a couple. It was great. It was a great experience, and then nothing else happened. Katie Kubert went away from Marvel, and it was like a year until they contacted me again to do fill-ins, like around the summer. I guess everybody gets late in the summer, so I was like helping there. I did 4 fill-ins, and then nothing else happened. And a year later, I got contacted again by the summer, and I had to say no, because I was already working in Ice Cream Man and She Could Fly, and I could not afford.
All right. So, Martin, I have one last question before our interview comes to a close, and I wanted to ask: aside from more Ice Cream Man, what is there anything else that you can talk about and let us know that you're working on for the future?
Yes, I'm starting work on a revival book, so I will be doing more pages of one of the books we already talked about. So, but I cannot say anything right now because nothing has been announced on any of them. So the one I suffer the most is the large ocean, because I will be like 2 years doing it, and I don't know when it's going to be announced or anything, but yeah, I cannot talk about it yet.
That's all good. And so on that note, we obviously look forward to seeing far more from you in the future. Our time has come to an end, and it's time to show us the artwork that you've done so far.
Okay, give me a second. It's in the pencils process, so I'm sure I did not hit this deadline as expected, but I will ink it. Oh,
that's cool. Yeah,
reflection there.
That's okay. We can see it, and then we will show the.
Does it show?
Yeah, and it will also show the completed artwork once it's finished as well.
It's perfect. Okay.
So if you want to own this
Okay.
incredible piece of work, then please check out the auction link in the description below. Martin, thank you so much for being cornered with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks to you. I had a great time. Yeah.
And thanks to our fans for watching Drawn and Cornered. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon to get notified for future episodes.